I made a video about how to have an extra $1,000 in 30 days. And one of the tips I gave was to use the dog walker app WAG. So I'm going to talk about how I did that in this episode. Hi, I am Monique, the work from home mogul. I had a goal of $100 a week. I picked 30 days, and we're also going to talk with our special guest,
Cat Lydia.
So how does WAG work? How much can you make? And how much did I make? Stay tuned. There are some pluses and there are some minuses when it comes to this dog walking app. Let's go with the obvious, the money. Anywhere from $9 to $40, $50 per service. You can do it when you want and pick the dogs that you want, so the flexibility is great. And getting to play with cute furry animals if you like that sort of thing, and have some money at the end of it. Those are pretty much all the benefits. Why not? Well, some of the cons. The obvious, you're picking up dog crap. The weather conditions outside, unforeseen circumstances, whether it be the dog's behavior, the owner's misinformation, different things. Some of it has to do with your mood as well, though, because if you could get an unruly dog but you're still happy, then it doesn't affect you. Some things that you need to know. So before I break down these pros and cons, I'm going to tell you how you get started on the app, basically, some of my interesting experiences, and then finally, how much did I make? How did it all turn out? I signed up in 2017, didn't use it that much. In fact, when I switched phones in 2020, I didn't have it on my phone because pandemic, I didn't feel like going around to people's houses. And also, people were walking their own dogs during the shutdown. They didn't have nothing else to do. When I signed up, I know I needed to make a profile. I needed to pay $25 for a background check. I needed a recommendation or a reference. There was also a point where they gave you a t-shirt and they gave you like a little bandana and you'd make an extra $1 when you had it on or took a picture with the pup with it on. That was cute. A lot of things have changed. The app itself has changed because they didn't provide enough information in the beginning. They didn't have the dog's breed or weight or anything, which led to an interesting experience that I had at one point. So when you sign up for this app, you get to set your pricing. There is some recommended pricing. WAG does take 40% of it. You want to set all that up, and then you can start accepting walks and making money. What kind of money can you make? Well, the services are, you can do a 20-minute drop-in, which is basically just going to check on the animal, make sure that they have food and water, throw out the pee pads and put different ones down, maybe change the kitty litter. So it's really simple. Sometimes you don't even have to be there for 20 minutes. Usually the owner pays like $15 and you get $9. So you can see on the pricing part of the app where you can set your pricing. If it's out of the range, like it's much higher, it's going to be red and asks, are you sure you want to charge this much? Which you can, but to be competitive, you stay within that range. For 30-minute walks, I make $12. 60-minute walks, I make like 18. And then if there's an extra dog that's added, it's like another $3 that is added to it. So you can get an idea of how much you can make for just 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or an hour out of your day. And they can also tip on top of that. You can get paid instantly after the walk if you choose that instant to your debit card thing, but it'll take 3%. Otherwise, you're going to wait till the pay period, which is on a Friday. So from Tuesday to Tuesday, they'll add everything up and then you get paid that Friday. Now, to get the walks, it's first come, first serve. So on the app, you'll get a notification that a walk is available in your area. And you just got to be on that thing and be like, yes, because usually it's the first one that responds is going to get it. Or if you're a preferred walker. So once you walk a dog a few times, the owner likes you, they'll put you in their preferred, and then you get the notification first, or you'll even get a direct request. Underneath the avatar, it says available for requests, and you can click on that and you can actually put if you're not available or if you are seeking. I don't know if it does anything, but it's an option. The best part about it is the cute animals. I mean, I only choose, the certain ones that I know that I can hold in my hand. I can pick up and run if something happens, or put in my bag should I need to hide them. You can look up the cute species, and you can make sure that it's the ones that you want, the ones that don't have behavioral issues or start biting people. Some dogs are friendlier than others, so you kind of just have to give it a shot the first time, and then would you ever want to walk this dog again? And if it comes up, just don't accept it. So as for the cons, obviously you're picking up dog crap. We don't need to go into detail about that, but I will say just having doggy bags with you already instead of trying to rely on the ones out on the street is good, because you never know when they're just ready all of a sudden. Comfortable clothing you don't mind getting dog hair all on when they're jumping all over you. Comfortable footwear so you can get your steps in. Getting your steps in is actually a pro that I forgot about. Never know what kind of behavior you're going to get until after you accept the walk, because in there are notes from other walkers which will tell you, okay, this dog doesn't like scooters, doesn't like other dogs, doesn't like people, anything that could trigger them. And that way you have an idea once you're going out with them, how to be prepared and what's bound to happen. Sometimes you have to deal with not being able to get into the place to actually get the dog out to walk them. This has only happened to me a couple of times. If the buzzer didn't work or there was no key to be found, and basically I was just texting or calling the support line and end up just getting paid for it, or they get a cancellation fee or something. They get a cancellation fee if you don't press start the walk. Once you get there and you get inside, sometimes the owner will be home and just hand you the dog. Sometimes you need to get a key if the door is not open, which will be in a lockbox, and then you get a code, or it's hidden under the mat or a flower pot, usually the typical places. Be a little bit more creative with hiding your key, because we all know that's a fake rock. Like, why is there a rock outside of an apartment door? We know that the rock doesn't belong there. On your way to the walk, you're going to press on my way and select how many minutes you are away. Once you get to the place, you're going to click arrived. And once you have the dog, or at least you're inside, you press start walk. It's going to time you. So if it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, it's going to time that you're actually doing it. It's also going to GPS you on a map and make sure that you're moving and you're not just sitting there with the dog, not doing anything, not walking around or playing with them. There's a certain amount of miles, 0.2 or 0.3, it's not that much. But as long as you have internet data connection or are hooked up to a Wi-Fi, it will sense your motion and movements and it'll start adding up the miles. If you don't have any internet, it's going to look like you didn't walk anywhere, which has happened to me when by mistake I'm on airplane mode or something, and once you end the walk, it'll say you have 0.0 miles. You don't meet the minimum requirements. At that point, you're just going to put a lost signal. Some of these high rises, I'm going up 60 floors and then the app isn't even working. I start the walk before I even get up there. Yeah, the dog is supposed to be leashed up and everything before you hit start walk, but you gotta wait for security to let you up. You gotta wait for an elevator, go up like hundreds of floors. So sometimes it's better to just start it, especially if you've already been there and you know that you can get inside the apartment. So my worst experience on WAG, and this was a few years ago, before I really liked dogs, I was in a really big apartment complex. So if somebody inside that complex needed their dog walked, I would just go in the elevator and go to the dog. And so I did that a few times. One time it was a request for 2 dogs. And at the time, you couldn't see what breed they were. So there were 2 Dobermans, and I could barely contain them. Like, I could get them to just be near me with like all of my strength. But what I could not handle was then they would be trying to jump up like 6 feet onto other people while we were waiting for the elevator. So I had to wait for other people to go on the elevator, make sure I was the only one on there. Went to the parking garage and just tried to walk them around the parking garage where I knew there wasn't going to be a lot of people. And then we ended up in like a courtyard behind the building where they just all of a sudden just let everything rip. They couldn't hold it in anymore. It was just a massive pile of you know what. I'm on the phone with WAG like, I cannot handle these dogs. Like, they're too big. This was an hour walk, and by the time we did all that, it was like 30 minutes. They allowed me to end the walk early at 30 minutes. I still got paid for half the walk, and I just returned the 2 dogs completely drenched in sweat to the owner, and I was like, I'm sorry, I just can't handle them. Someone with more experience should handle large dogs like that. Probably not somebody that's a $1.15. These dogs were each 100 pounds. I would have been like dragged down the street. So my goal was $400. Let's see what happened. First, I had to get the app back on my phone. I'm like, all right, now put myself as available and see what cute dogs come in. So after a couple of dogs, I got a request for a sitting. And in a nice part of town, in a nice building, for 1 pug, 11 days, and it was going to be $340. So I was like, perfect. Now I only have to do a few more walks to get to my goal. At the last minute, they added a second dog, and I was like, okay, send me a picture of this dog, because if it's like 200 pounds, no thank you. But it was another cute tiny dog, and they were going to directly give me $300 more. Boom. Goal perfectly completed. And then, even more of a blessing on top of that, their cousin needed a place to stay after about 4 days of me being there. And so in order for her to stay there, they told her to walk the dogs. So basically, $640 for 4 days of walking these cute dogs. And then I did tell the girl I would come back because they were so cute. Now, of course, this is not typical, but it is about being open to receive from different sources. I also, in that same week, had a friend go out of town. I would have done it for free if I still lived within walking distance from her, but she paid me for like some traveling back and forth or whatnot. And so it was another piece of change to add to the collection. The last week that I did, I exceeded the goal of $100. What I've noticed is that Mondays, there's not a lot of requests, at least the last few. So I'm typically doing Tuesday through Saturday. But anyway, so here's what happened for this last week. Tuesday, no walk. But a tip did come in from a few days earlier. It was a $3.59 tip from a 20-minute walk. Wednesday, 1 hour long walk for $18, no tip. Thursday, I did my first drop-in. It was 20 minutes, not even. It was like 10 minutes. $9 just to go and make sure the dog had enough water and to throw away the pee pads and put new ones out. That afternoon, I got a request for a 1 hour walk with 2 Frenchies. One of the dogs' name was Split Pea. And that day I was boiling split peas. So I was like, I attracted this. $21 for that plus $11.39 tip. And then that same night, a 20-minute walk with the same dogs, $12 with a $4.59. Now we're at Friday. That morning I get a special request from them because I'm now a preferred walker. 60 minutes, $21 with a $7.59 tip. At this point I could just stop. I'm at $100, but that same night, same request, same dogs, $21. Because just like with Lyft, once they open their app, they're able to give a review or something and give a tip. That Saturday, a 30-minute walk for $12, which I did not need to take and I shouldn't have taken because there was a fire alarm when I was trying to go back in. So basically I was there for like an hour total instead of 30 minutes total. And then Sunday, 20-minute request, $9. It was like 5 minutes. She just wanted to meet me and see if I could walk her dog every day, which I could not. So one thing it's important to take in consideration, not just if it's like the type of dog that you can handle, but how far is it? I only take things that are really close to me, because otherwise you're talking about more time to get there and then wait and try to get in if you don't know these people. And so that can add another 10 to 30 minutes on each side of getting there and leaving. So you have to make sure that it's worth it. Now let's hear from our guest, Lydia. What do you think of WAG? Those perpetrators. They took my business idea. My app was called Meow Migos, and it was for you to come over and play with a cat while they ignored you the whole time. I mean, they're so popular and we know so much about them. Like, how come we never heard about your app? They got off the ground real quick because they had more money than I did. Dogs make more noise than cats, but I had a lot of fun, just me going around in the beginning. Memories. Well, thank you for sharing. It was a pleasure to be here. Hey, what's that light? Where'd it go? That was mean. All right, work from home buddies. If you're not already hitting that notification bell and you're subscribed, please make sure you do that. If you're not, like, hit both so you know about the next videos. I'm going to talk about that crypto thing later. I made almost $1,000 on WAG, so I didn't keep up with the crypto trading, but that'll be the next challenge. I'm also going to try Rover and see how that goes, if it's any better, because I know they take less of a percent out. Be subscribed and alerted so you know about these next videos. Bye.